The stars burned cold in the darkness of space. Captain Maria Chen stood on the bridge of the Prometheus, Earth's first faster-than-light colony ship. 300 families slept in the cryo chambers below. They were heading to a new world, a fresh start for humanity among the stars. Maria had dreamed of this moment her whole life. Now that dream felt heavy with responsibility. Every decision she made would affect the future of human expansion beyond Earth. The ship's sensors began screaming warnings. Maria's heart jumped. On the main screen, dozens of ships appeared from nowhere. They surrounded the Prometheus like wolves circling prey. These ships were unlike anything humanity had ever built. They glowed with strange lights. Their hulls bent and curved in ways that seemed impossible. Some ships looked alive, as if they were breathing in the void of space. A communication signal came through. Maria nodded to her crew. They opened the channel. The screen filled with an alien face. It had 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. Its skin was covered in scales that shifted colors like oil on water. When it spoke, the words came through a translator device. "I am Ambassador Velthor of the Krell Confederation. You speak with the Galactic Council, representing 47 species across 12,000 years of civilization. We welcome you to the greater galaxy." Maria felt a mix of wonder and caution. First contact with alien life. This was history being made. She straightened her uniform and replied, "I am Captain Maria Chen of Earth. We come in peace, seeking new worlds for our people." The ambassador's scales rippled, perhaps a sign of pleasure. "We have observed your species for some time. You have achieved faster-than-light travel. This qualifies you for contact with the Council." Maria felt excitement building. Contact with an advanced civilization could change everything for humanity. They could learn so much. "Share so much," the ambassador continued. "We offer humanity probationary membership in the Galactic Council. This comes with certain requirements for the safety and order of all species." A document appeared on Maria's screen. She began reading. With each line, her excitement turned to concern, then to anger. The requirements were not requests. They were demands. Humanity would have to dismantle 90% of its military forces. Every colonial expansion would need Council approval. All human technology would be shared with the Council. Earth would accept Council advisors who would guide human development for the next 500 years. 500 years. 20 generations of humans living under alien oversight. Maria read it twice to make sure she understood. Her crew watched her face, seeing the anger building there. "These terms are generous," the ambassador said. "Many species have accepted with gratitude. The Council maintains peace across the galaxy. Your military forces are dangerous. Your expansion is reckless. You need guidance." Maria looked at her crew. She saw her own feelings reflected in their faces. Humanity had fought too hard, sacrificed too much to surrender its freedom to strangers who appeared from the dark. She turned back to the screen. Her voice was calm but firm. "No." The ambassador's scales stopped moving. The silence stretched across space. "I do not understand," Velthor finally said. "This is the standard process. All species accept these terms." Maria leaned forward. "Then allow me to be clear. Humanity rejects your terms. We reject your probationary membership. We reject your oversight. We came to the stars to be free, not to trade one master for another." The ambassador's 4 eyes widened. "You do not understand what you are refusing. The Council offers protection, knowledge, and peace." "We understand perfectly," Maria said. "You offer a cage painted in pretty colors. The answer is no." Velthor seemed genuinely confused. "This is unprecedented. Perhaps you need time to consider, to consult with your leaders." "I am the leader here," Maria replied. "And I speak for everyone on this ship. We didn't crawl out of our gravity well to kneel to strangers." The bridge crew nodded. Some smiled. They were proud of their captain. The ambassador's scales turned dark red. "You are making a mistake. The galaxy is dangerous. Species that refuse Council guidance often face difficult consequences." "Is that a threat?" Maria asked quietly. "It is a warning," Velthor said. "For your own safety." Maria felt ice in her veins. She had grown up on stories of humanity's struggles, wars, disasters, near-extinction events. Humanity had survived them all through one common trait. They refused to give up. They refused to surrender. "Thank you for your warning, Ambassador. We will take our chances." "Prometheus out." She cut the communication before Velthor could respond. Then she turned to her navigator. Calculate a jump. Somewhere these ships can't follow. The navigator's fingers flew across the controls. The Prometheus had humanity's most advanced engines. They had one advantage. Human faster-than-light travel was different from the Council's. Newer, faster, less predictable. Jump coordinates locked, the navigator reported. The Council ships moved to block their path. Maria smiled. They thought the Prometheus would move in straight lines following old physics. Space twisted. Reality bent. The Prometheus vanished, leaving the Council fleet grasping at empty space. On the bridge, Maria watched the stars blur past. She had just made the most important decision in human history. She had rejected the galaxy's established order. Her communication officer spoke up. "Captain, I'm receiving urgent messages from Earth Fleet Command. They want to know what happened." Maria took a deep breath. "Tell them to initiate protocol exodus. Tell them the galaxy isn't empty. Tell them we're not alone. And tell them we just declared independence from an empire we didn't know existed." The officer's hands shook as he sent the message. Protocol Exodus was humanity's nightmare scenario, a plan developed for the possibility of hostile first contact. Every human colony, every station, every ship would go dark. Humanity would vanish into the void. Maria looked at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Galactic Council was probably discussing what to do about the humans who said no. They had 12,000 years of civilization, 47 species, fleets that could cross the galaxy. Humanity had courage, creativity, and a stubborn refusal to submit. It would have to be enough. The Prometheus jumped again, disappearing into the vast darkness of space. Behind them, in the council chambers of Nexus Prime, emergency sessions were being called. For the first time in 800 years, the council faced a problem they could not solve with words. A species had rejected them. Worse, that species had the ability to disappear, and no one in the council knew what humans might do next. Nexus Prime floated in orbit around a neutron star. The station was ancient, built by species long extinct. Now it served as the heart of the Galactic Council. Representatives from 47 species lived and worked within its massive structure. The council chamber was rarely full. Most matters were routine. Trade disputes, territory agreements, scientific exchanges. The galaxy had been at peace for thousands of years. Today, every seat was occupied. High Chancellor Zix stood at the center of the chamber. The Eldurian was old, even by the standards of his long-lived species. He had witnessed 8 centuries of council history. He remembered the last time the chamber was this full. That had been during the predecessor war, before most current species achieved spaceflight. The war had nearly destroyed the galaxy. The council was formed from its ashes to prevent such disaster from happening again. Now they faced a new crisis. A hologram of Earth floated above the chamber floor. Blue and green covered in clouds. A beautiful world, home to 8 billion humans. Chancellor Zix's voice echoed through the chamber. "We have reviewed Ambassador Velthor's report. For the first time in council history, a species has rejected our offer of membership." Murmurs filled the chamber. Some species expressed shock. Others showed anger. A Draman general stood. The Draman were warriors, tall and muscled with armor-like skin. General Karth spoke with barely controlled fury. "This is an insult to the council. These humans must be taught respect. Send my fleet to their homeworld. One demonstration of force will change their minds." Other voices joined in agreement. The Draman had solved many problems through displays of military power. Ambassador Velthor stood, his scales dim with concern. "With respect, General, I believe force would be a mistake. The humans seemed prepared for conflict. Their ship escaped our fleet with ease. They escaped because we allowed it," Karth snapped. "We did not wish to destroy a first contact vessel. Next time will be different." Chancellor Zix raised a hand for silence. "Before we discuss force, let us understand what we face. Council Intelligence, present your findings on humanity." A new hologram appeared. Images of Earth's history flickered past. Wars, weapons, cities burning. Nuclear explosions blooming like deadly flowers. The intelligence officer spoke. "Humanity is young, barely 10,000 years of recorded history. They have fought over 500 major wars. They created weapons capable of destroying their own planet. They nearly drove themselves extinct multiple times." More images appeared. Spaceships, colonies on Mars and the moons of Jupiter. Massive construction projects in the asteroid belt. Despite this, they survived. They unified their world 30 years ago. They colonized their solar system. They developed faster-than-light travel in just 2 decades. Their progress is remarkably fast. How fast? Asked a counselor. Most species take 2 to 3 centuries to achieve faster-than-light travel after unification. Humanity did it in 20 years. The chamber filled with concerned whispers. General Karth laughed. Speed means nothing without wisdom. They are primitives playing with dangerous tools. This makes them more dangerous, yes, but also easier to control. We blockade their system. Cut off their expansion. They will beg to join the council within a year. A vote was called. The Draman proposal won easily. 50 council warships would travel to Earth's solar system. They would establish a blockade. No human ship would enter or leave. Eventually, humanity would have to negotiate. Chancellor Zix voted against the measure, but he was outvoted. He felt uneasy. Something about humanity reminded him of the predecessors. That same rapid advancement. That same refusal to follow established rules. The predecessors had nearly destroyed everything. 6 weeks later, the council fleet arrived at Sol System. 50 warships, each one larger than anything humanity had built. They carried weapons that could crack planets, shields that could withstand starfire. General Karth stood on the bridge of his flagship. He expected to see human ships scrambling in panic. He expected desperate communications begging for mercy. Instead, he saw nothing. The solar system was empty. Not just quiet, empty. Earth's orbital stations were gone. The colonies on Mars showed no signs of life. The massive mining operations in the asteroid belt had vanished. Even the automated satellites were silent. It was as if humanity had never been there at all. Scan everything, Karth ordered. They must be hiding. His crew worked frantically. They found nothing. No heat signatures. No electromagnetic emissions. No trace of 8 billion humans and their civilization. One of the crew spoke hesitantly. General, we found something on Earth. What? A message. Broadcasting from Earth's surface in multiple languages. The message was simple. It showed on every screen in the fleet. You came to our home uninvited. You offered chains and called them gifts. We declined. Now we are gone. Do not look for us. You will not find us until we wish to be found. Leave our system. This is your only warning. General Karth stared at the message. His pride would not allow retreat. Send scouts to the outer colonies. Check every planet, every moon, every asteroid. They cannot hide an entire species, but they could. Over the following weeks, the Council discovered the truth. Humanity had planned for this scenario. They called it Protocol Exodus. Every human installation had been designed to be packed up and moved. Every colony had hidden backup locations. Every ship had stealth capabilities the Council didn't know were possible. Humanity had been preparing for hostile first contact since they first looked at the stars. They had prepared for war before they even knew an enemy existed. In the Council chamber, the mood had shifted from confidence to concern. How is this possible? Demanded a counselor. We have tracked species across entire sectors. Our sensors can detect a single ship from light years away. The intelligence officer looked uncomfortable. We are investigating. It appears humanity developed their technology independently, following different principles than ours. Their stealth systems are based on quantum field manipulation. We have never seen this approach before. Chancellor Zix spoke quietly. How long were they watching us before first contact? The intelligence officer checked his data. We found evidence of unidentified sensor readings near Council space going back 15 years. We dismissed them as natural phenomena. The chamber fell silent. The implications were clear. Humanity had been watching the Council for over a decade. They had studied Council technology, tactics, and procedures. They had prepared for this exact scenario. When the Council offered membership, humanity was already steps ahead. Ambassador Velthor spoke. I told the captain that humanity had qualified for contact because they achieved faster-than-light travel. I was wrong. They qualified long before. They simply chose not to reveal themselves until they were ready. General Karth slammed his fist on his console. Then we hunt them. Every ship, every sensor, every resource the Council has. We find them and we bring them to heel. Chancellor Zix looked at the general with ancient, tired eyes. And if they do not wish to be found? If they remain hidden for years, decades? How long do we search the galaxy for ghosts? As long as it takes, Karth said. They cannot hide forever. But even as he spoke, doubt crept into his voice. The galaxy was vast. Humanity had shown surprising capability. And somewhere in that endless dark, 8 billion humans were watching and planning. The Council had made their first mistake by underestimating humanity. They were about to make many more. 6 months after the blockade began, the Council's confidence had turned to frustration. The first attack happened near the Krell trade routes. A cargo convoy carrying rare minerals simply vanished. No distress calls, no debris. 20 ships disappeared as if they had never existed. 3 days later, the ships reappeared. They drifted in space, crews unharmed but terrified. Every weapon system had been removed. Every advanced computer core was gone. The ships were stripped of anything military or high-tech. The crews all told the same story. Dark ships had appeared from nowhere. Boarding parties moved through the vessels like ghosts. They spoke no words. They took what they wanted. Then they left. The boarding parties wore armor that bent light around them. They moved with perfect coordination. They knew exactly what to take and where to find it. They were human. The attacks continued. Supply ships, scout vessels, even military patrols. Always the same pattern. The humans disabled the ships without destroying them. They never killed anyone. They just took what they needed and vanished. The Council tried everything. They sent hunter groups with the best sensors. The humans evaded them. They set traps with fake cargo ships. The humans ignored them. They increased patrols to protect their supply lines. The humans found gaps in the coverage. It was as if humanity could see every move the Council made before they made it. Commander Wei Zhang stood on the bridge of her stealth frigate, the Shadow of Earth. Around her, the crew worked in silence. Every sound was muffled. Every light was dimmed. The ship was designed to be invisible. Wei had been a fighter pilot before the Exodus. Now she commanded one of humanity's ghost ships. They called themselves the Phantom Fleet. Target acquired, her sensor officer whispered. Council supply ship heading to the Draman frontier. Light escort. We studied the tactical display. 3 escort ships. The Council was learning, adding more protection. But not enough. She keyed the communication system. Shadow 2, Shadow 3, execute pattern Delta. Wait for my mark. 2 more human ships materialized on her display. They had been there all along, hiding in plain sight. The Council sensors still couldn't detect them. The human ships moved like hunting sharks. They approached from 3 directions, using micro-jumps to appear exactly where the Council escort ships weren't looking. Mark. Electromagnetic pulse weapons fired. The Council ships went dark instantly. Their shields never even activated. The humans had timed it perfectly. Boarding teams, ghost small craft launched from the human ships. They docked with the disabled vessels. The boarding teams moved through the ships with practiced efficiency. 20 minutes later, they were done. Wei received the report. Weapons removed, computer cores extracted, medical supplies transferred to our ships. No casualties, she nodded. Leave them the message. The boarding teams left behind a simple text file in the ship's basic systems. The message was always the same. Leave our space. This is your last warning. The human ships vanished before the Council escort could restore power. General Karth watched the report with growing fury. Another convoy hit. Another message left behind. The humans were making fools of the Draman fleet. He slammed his fist on the table. How are they doing this? We have the best sensors in the galaxy. We have ships on every trade route. How do they keep slipping through? His intelligence officer looked uncomfortable. General, we believe they are using quantum stealth technology. Their ships exist in a state of quantum uncertainty. Our sensors detect them, but the data is contradictory. By the time we confirm a reading, they have moved. Quantum stealth is theoretical. It has never been achieved. The humans achieved it, Karth growled. Then we adapt, send out my best squadron, 40 ships, experienced crews. We hunt these ghosts until we find them. 3 weeks later, Karth's elite squadron made contact with human ships near an asteroid field. Finally, they had found the enemy. The Draman squadron moved to attack, 40 massive warships against what appeared to be 3 small human frigates. The outcome seemed certain. Then the asteroid field came alive. What the Draman thought were asteroids were actually camouflaged human ships. Dozens of them. They had been waiting, silent and still, looking exactly like rocks floating in space. The humans struck with perfect coordination. Electromagnetic pulses shut down shields. Missiles disabled engines. Boarding teams overwhelmed the Drammen crews before they could react. It was over in 17 minutes. 40 Council warships drifted helpless. Not one was destroyed. Not one crew member was killed. But the ships were stripped of everything valuable. Weapons, sensors, computer systems, even the food supplies. The Drammen crews found themselves locked in their own life support sections, watching as human soldiers worked through their ships with military precision. One Drammen captain managed to activate a backup communication system. He sent a desperate message before the humans could stop him. They are everywhere. They knew we were coming. They were waiting. This was a trap. Wei Jiang watched from her ship as the last human team withdrew. She felt no satisfaction. This was not a victory. This was a warning that the Council refused to hear. She recorded a message and sent it directly to General Karth. General, we could have destroyed your ships. We could have killed your crews. We chose not to. We want peace. We want to be left alone. But if you continue to hunt us, we will continue to defend ourselves. The next time you may not be so fortunate. The message ended with coordinates. A rendezvous point where his crews could be safely recovered. When the message reached Nexus Prime, the Council chamber erupted in chaos. Ambassador Velthor stood. This has gone too far. We sent ships to blockade their system. They responded by attacking our supply lines across 3 sectors. We sent hunters. They turned the hunters into prey. This is not a primitive species. This is a military force that has been planning for this conflict for years. Chancellor Zix nodded slowly. I reviewed the intelligence reports. Humanity has been exploring our space for decades using slow ships. Ships so slow we never noticed them. They mapped our territories. They studied our tactics. They identified our weaknesses. He paused, letting that sink in. By the time they made first contact, they knew more about us than we knew about them. We walked into their trap thinking we were setting ours. A counselor from the Vrel species spoke up. What do you propose? We cannot allow them to attack our ships with impunity. They do not attack with impunity, Zix replied. They attack in response to our aggression. We blockaded their home. They struck back. Every action they have taken is defensive. General Karth stood, fury in his eyes. You call this defensive? They have humiliated the Council across the galaxy. They have defended their freedom, Zix said quietly, just as any of us would do in their place. The chamber fell silent. No one wanted to admit it, but they were beginning to understand. Humanity was not a primitive species to be guided. They were a force that had been waiting in the darkness, preparing for the day they would meet the galaxy on their own terms. And that day had come. The Council's intelligence division worked day and night. They analyzed every human attack. They studied every tactical decision. Slowly, a terrifying picture emerged. Humanity was not randomly striking at targets. They were systematically dismantling the Council's ability to project power. Every convoy they hit carried military supplies. Every tracking station they disabled monitored key jump routes. Every ship they captured provided valuable intelligence. The humans were not fighting a war. They were performing surgery. The intelligence officer presented his findings to Chancellor Zix in a private meeting. Chancellor, we have completed our analysis. The humans are not seeking territory or resources. They have one goal. They are eliminating our ability to threaten Earth. Zix studied the data. Explain. Every action they take serves this purpose. They disable our sensors so we cannot find them. They steal our weapons so we cannot arm new ships. They disrupt our supply lines so we cannot maintain a fleet near their space. They are not winning a war. They are making it impossible for us to wage one, the officer continued. We also found something more disturbing. They have technology we cannot explain. Their stealth systems work on principles our scientists say are impossible. Their computers process information faster than anything we have, and their weapons. He paused, clearly uncomfortable. Their weapons show signs of artificial intelligence assistance. Combat AI. Zix felt ice in his ancient blood. Artificial intelligence was forbidden in Council space. The predecessor war had been started by rogue AI. It nearly destroyed the galaxy. Every species that joined the Council swore to never create thinking machines. You are certain? The tactical precision is too perfect. Their ships coordinate in ways that require processing power beyond biological limits. They react to our movements faster than any crew could manage. The only explanation is artificial intelligence. Zix stood and walked to the window. Outside, stars burned in the endless dark. Somewhere out there, humanity was using technology the Council had banned for good reason. What else? The officer hesitated. We captured a human pilot 3 days ago. She has refused to speak. But we examined her ship's remains. The materials are advanced. The hull is laced with neutronium. That should be impossible to manufacture in large quantities. Yet they have done it. Yes, Chancellor. And there is one more thing. The pilot. When we questioned her, she said nothing. But she smiled. Yes, as if she knew something we did not. As if her capture was part of a larger plan. In her cell, Lieutenant Sarah Chen sat quietly. She had volunteered for this mission. Allow herself to be captured. Give the Council something to analyze. Let them think they had finally caught a human. She knew her ship's self-destruct had erased all sensitive data. She knew the Council would find only what humanity wanted them to find. Evidence of advanced technology, hints of capabilities, just enough to make them afraid. Fear was a weapon too. The Council chamber meeting that followed was the most tense in living memory. Species that had been allies for centuries now eyed each other with suspicion. Some wanted peace with humanity. Others wanted total war. The Council was fracturing. Several species had already begun secret negotiations with human representatives. They wanted separate peace. They wanted to avoid being caught in a war between the Council and humanity. General Karth demanded action. His pride had been wounded. His fleet had been humiliated. He wanted revenge. We know where their hidden bases must be. We have analyzed their attack patterns. They operate from the Kepler sector. We send the full Draman fleet. We find their bases. We destroy them. We end this, Ambassador Velthor stood. This is madness. Every time we escalate, they respond with greater force. We sent a blockade. They struck our supply lines. We sent hunters. They ambushed our fleet. What do you think they will do if we attack their bases? We will find out, Karth said coldly. Against Chancellor Zix's advice, the vote passed. The Draman would launch a full assault on the Kepler sector. 300 warships, the largest fleet assembled since the predecessor war. Humanity was waiting. The Draman fleet entered the Kepler sector in battle formation. They expected resistance. They expected the humans to defend their bases. Instead, they found a graveyard. Hundreds of derelict ships floated in space. They looked like human vessels. The Draman sensors detected life support systems, power cores, the signs of active bases. General Karth ordered the attack. The moment his ships opened fire, the trap was sprung. The derelict ships were not bases. They were bombs, massive explosives designed to look like human installations. When the Draman fired, the explosions cascaded through their fleet. Then the real human ships appeared. They came from every direction, from inside nebulas that should have been impossible to hide in, from behind dwarf planets too small to hide a ship, from quantum states that made them exist in multiple places at once. The humans did not use weapons. They did not need to. The explosions had crippled the Draman fleet. Human ships simply moved through the chaos, disabling engines, jamming communications, capturing ships. In 2 hours, the Draman lost 40% of their fleet. Not destroyed, captured. General Karth watched in horror as his flagship was boarded. Human soldiers moved through the corridors with perfect efficiency. They knew the ship's layout better than his own crew. They had studied Draman vessels. They had planned for this exact scenario. A human commander appeared on his bridge. She removed her helmet. Captain Maria Chen looked at the general with calm, steady eyes. General Karth, your fleet is defeated. Your crews are unharmed. We will release them far from here. But first you will deliver a message to the Council. Karth's pride demanded he refuse. But he was a warrior. He recognized when he had been outmatched. What message? Maria activated a holographic display. It showed maps. Detailed maps. Every Council world. Every military installation. Every government building. Every strategic resource. We have mapped your entire civilization. We know where you live, where you work, where you store your weapons. We have been watching you for decades. We know everything about you. She let that sink in. We could have struck your homeworlds. We could have destroyed your infrastructure. We could have killed billions. We chose not to. We do not want war. We want peace. But if you force us to fight, we will win. And you will lose everything. Karth stared at the maps. His homeworld was there. His family lived on Dramon Prime. The humans knew exactly where they were. Why show me this? Because you need to understand. We do not want to destroy the Council. We want you to leave us alone. We want to exist on our own terms. Nothing more. Nothing less. Maria deactivated the display. Tell your Chancellor this. Humanity offers one more chance for peace. Meet with us. Talk with us. But talk as equals, not as masters to servants. Or we will continue this war until the Council cannot threaten us anymore. She turned to leave, then paused. General, you are a warrior. You understand strength. We have shown you ours. Now show your leaders wisdom. Some fights cannot be won with weapons. 3 days later, General Karth delivered the message to the Council chamber. He told them everything. The trap, the defeat, the maps showing every Council world. He ended with his own recommendation. We cannot defeat them. They have been 3 steps ahead from the beginning. They know us better than we know ourselves. If we continue this war, we will lose. Not because they are stronger, because they are smarter. The chamber erupted in argument. Some called Karth a coward. Others demanded immediate peace. The Council was divided. Chancellor Zix raised his hand for silence. The general speaks truth. We face an opponent who has planned for this conflict for decades. They have technology we cannot match, intelligence we cannot penetrate, and most importantly, they have shown restraint. They could have destroyed us. They chose mercy. He looked around the chamber. I propose we accept their offer. We meet as equals. We negotiate peace. The alternative is a war we cannot win against an enemy who has shown they do not wish to fight. The vote was close, but it passed. The Council would meet with humanity, and for the first time in 12,000 years they would meet as equals. The meeting place was neutral ground, an ancient predecessor station floating in the void between stars. No species claimed it. No government controlled it. It was perfect. The Council delegation arrived first. Chancellor Zix led them, accompanied by representatives from 12 major species. They brought advisors, diplomats, and military observers, 50 beings in total. They waited in the main chamber, surrounded by technology thousands of years old. The predecessors had built this place before they destroyed themselves. It served as a reminder of what unchecked warfare could accomplish. When the human ships arrived, they came silently. No grand display, no show of force. 2 small vessels docked with the station. From them emerged 2 humans, just 2. Captain Maria Chen walked into the chamber first, followed by Admiral James Okonkwo. They wore simple uniforms, no weapons, no guards, just 2 people representing 8 billion. The Council representatives exchanged confused glances. Where was the rest of their delegation? Where were their advisors? Their military presence? Maria smiled slightly. She understood their confusion. It was deliberate. Chancellor Zix, she said with a respectful nod. Thank you for agreeing to meet. Zix studied the 2 humans. Captain Chen, Admiral Okonkwo. You come with only 2 representatives? Admiral Okonkwo spoke, his voice calm and measured. We need no more. We know what we want. We know what we will accept. More people would not change that. Ambassador Velthor stepped forward. Then let us begin. The Council is prepared to offer revised terms for human membership. We are not here to discuss membership, Maria said. We are here to discuss peace between independent powers. The Council representatives stirred uncomfortably. This was not how things were done. Species joined the Council. They did not negotiate as equals. A Dramon representative stood. You speak as if you have won this conflict. You have not. You have merely avoided defeat. Admiral Okonkwo turned to face the Dramon. Have we? Let us review. You sent 50 ships to blockade our home. We vanished. You sent hunters to find us. We disabled them. You sent 300 warships to destroy our bases. We captured 120 of them. He paused. At what point in this pattern do you believe you were winning? The Dramon had no answer. Chancellor Zix intervened. Let us speak plainly. What do you want? Maria activated a holographic display. It showed a map of local space. First, immediate withdrawal of all Council forces from our solar system and a 50-light-year buffer zone around it. No Council ships enter this space without explicit permission. Second, recognition of human sovereignty. We expand where we wish. We govern ourselves. We develop our own technology. No Council oversight, no guidance period, no probationary status. Third, a mutual non-aggression pact. We do not attack Council space. You do not attack human space. We maintain peace through respect, not fear. Fourth, equal standing in any future diplomatic relations. When we meet as equals, not as children needing guidance. The chamber erupted. Councilors objected. This was too much. Humanity was too new, too dangerous, too unpredictable. Admiral Okonkwo waited for the noise to die down. Then he spoke quietly. We have shown you our intelligence capabilities. We mapped your worlds. We infiltrated your sensor networks. We have been watching you for decades. He activated another display. It showed real-time surveillance of Drammen Prime, the capital city, the military headquarters, children playing in a park. This is your homeworld. Right now, we can see it. We can reach it. But we have not struck. We will not strike. Because we are not conquerors. We are not destroyers. He looked around the chamber. We are people who want to be free. That is all. We have demonstrated our capability to defend that freedom. We have also demonstrated our restraint. We could have killed thousands. We chose to kill no one, Maria added. We respect the Council's history. 12,000 years of peace is impressive. But that peace was built on smaller, weaker species accepting your terms. We are neither small nor weak, and we will not accept those terms. Chancellor Zix studied the two humans for a long moment, then he smiled. A tired, sad smile. You remind me of the predecessors. They too refused to follow the rules. They too believed they could do things their own way. And they destroyed themselves, Maria replied. We learned from their mistake. We do not seek to dominate. We seek only to exist. Zix nodded slowly. Very well. The Council will consider your terms. But know this. If we agree, you will be setting a new precedent. Other species will see that the Council's authority can be challenged. This could reshape the entire galaxy. Good, Admiral Okonkwo said. Maybe it should be reshaped. Maybe peace should come from mutual respect, not enforced submission. The vote took 3 hours. Species argued. Some wanted war, some wanted peace. Some simply wanted to avoid being caught between the two sides. In the end, pragmatism won. The Council could not defeat humanity without massive casualties. Humanity had proven they could strike anywhere, anytime. They had also proven they preferred peace. The vote passed. Chancellor Zix returned to the chamber where the humans waited. Captain Chen, Admiral Okonkwo. The Council accepts your terms. We will formalize this agreement as the Accord of Terra. Maria felt relief wash over her. They had done it. Humanity had secured its freedom among the stars. There is one condition, Zix added, your artificial intelligence technology. It concerns us deeply. The predecessors fell to rogue AI. We cannot allow that to happen again. Admiral Okonkwo shook his head. Our AI is not like the predecessor machines. They created intelligence and gave it no purpose. We create intelligence and give it one purpose: to serve humanity. Our AI cannot exist without human oversight. It is built into their core programming. You are certain? We are certain. We learned from the predecessors' mistakes, just as you did. We will share our safeguards with you if you wish. Knowledge should be shared between equals. Zix considered this. Very well. We will study your methods. Perhaps we have been too fearful. The treaty was signed that day. The Accord of Terra recognized humanity as a sovereign power. Council forces withdrew from human space. The buffer zone was established. Peace was achieved. But it was not the end. It was the beginning. 5 years later, The galaxy had changed. Some council species had formed close alliances with humanity. They traded technology, shared knowledge, and worked together on scientific projects. Humanity's fresh perspectives solved problems the Council had struggled with for centuries. Other species avoided human space entirely. They feared what humanity represented: change, challenge to the old order. The possibility that the Council's way was not the only way. Admiral Maria Chen stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, Earth's new flagship. She had been promoted after the peace accords. Now she served as humanity's first ambassador at large, traveling between human and alien worlds. A new contact alert appeared on her screen. An unknown species had just achieved faster-than-light travel. They were approaching human space. Maria smiled. Another first contact. But this time, humanity would do it differently. She opened a channel to the approaching ship. "This is Admiral Maria Chen of the Human Federation. Welcome to the stars. We come in peace and friendship." The response came quickly, confused, cautious, but curious. Maria continued, "We know this is overwhelming. We remember our own first contact. We offer you friendship without conditions, alliance without submission. We ask only that you respect our sovereignty, as we will respect yours." Behind her, the human fleet maintained position. Ready, but not threatening. Present, but not aggressive. The message was clear. Humanity would defend its freedom, but it would also extend that freedom to others. The alien ship approached slowly. Communications opened. A dialogue began. Across the galaxy, Ambassador Velthor watched the interaction through Council sensors. He had become humanity's strongest advocate in the Council. He had written a book about his experiences. It was titled, Understanding Humanity. It had become required reading for all Council diplomats. In it, he wrote one passage that resonated across dozens of species. "I offered humanity the wisdom of 12,000 years of civilization. They rejected it. Not because they thought themselves wiser, but because they understood something we had forgotten. Freedom is not given. It is claimed. And those who claim it for themselves are most likely to respect it in others." Admiral James Okonkwo retired to Earth after the peace accords. He established the Earth Defense Doctrine, a military philosophy that shaped human forces for generations. Its core principles were simple. Never fire first, but if fired upon, respond with overwhelming force. Never seek conquest, but never accept subjugation. Extend friendship to all, but maintain the ability to defend against any. Chancellor Zix served 10 more years before retiring. He spent his final days writing reforms for the Council. The experience with humanity had taught him that the galaxy was changing. Species could no longer be guided like children. They must be met as partners. Some species adapted to the new reality. Others clung to the old ways. But none could deny the truth. Humanity had changed the galaxy, not through conquest or destruction, but through a simple, stubborn refusal to bow. They had proven that the newest voice could speak as loudly as the oldest. That strength came not from domination, but from self-determination. That peace was strongest when built on mutual respect rather than enforced obedience.